It just finished. Let me just say that again. So I just got off a call with my community, Queen Circle, and it's basically our little community. We meet up every 2 weeks. You can ask me any questions you want. And we had a lady from Tanzania, from Colombia, from Asia, from the US, obviously, and Europe. So yes, look at us. We have Brazil, Morocco, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Turkey, Florida, Monaco, Sweden, Germany, London, Vietnam. Wow, holy moly. What is that? This is a fly. Hello. Hawaii. Wow, Brazil, UK, Chicago. Wow, wow, wow. This is amazing. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad that you showed up early because we have limited spots. We had quite a couple of thousand people join the claim their spot, and we're gonna send the recording after. So if you need to disconnect, don't worry, we'll send the recording to you. All good. But the most important part is that you're having an hour of my time where I get to share with you biohacking, and we can make sure that you at the end of this call are the expert of biohacking. So if you had to rate from 0 to 100 the level of your biohacking skills, where 0 is absolutely I have no idea what the hell that is, and 100 is I'm a pro, how would you rate yourself? 50, 20. Okay. 2, 40, 0, 30. Okay. That's really good. Good to know. Perfect. So we're here. My promise to you is that at the end of this call, you definitely not going to meet at 0 or 30 or a 10 like Leah. We want to make sure that you're going to be understanding what the hell is going on. And I was trying to explain to people what biohacking is. And I feel like these are just people that hate feeling shit and want to feel amazing. And that would be the best description of biohacking. So before we go any further, I am going to share the screen with you, and we can dive right in. Except my desktop isn't working. So let's see if that would work. 1 second. Yes, Zoom, you can join. Oh. All right, now, can you see me now? Perfect. Sorry, guys, about that. There is yet to be a webinar where I don't do something wrong. And this is like our tradition. But I'm glad I'm just keeping you on the. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Everyone's happy? Perfect. All right, so we're gonna share screen now and dive right in. Can you see it? Let me know. 350 people already. Amazing. All right. So this is my beautiful presentation, and let's dive in. So this is our little agenda. This is, in case you don't know who I am, this is where I look a little better when the lights are good and the makeup is good. This is where I look when it's 11 p.m. I'm about to go to bed in my biohacking blue light blocking glasses. I was one of the first female biohackers, founder of a supplement company, host of a podcast, da 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 da. There's should be a book author and whatnot, but my story was definitely far from that. I always share my story just to show you that if there is any story you tell yourself about why you can't lose weight, then I would be me. I was chubby, so I was confident that my genetics were against me. And so when I lost weight, I was super happy. But then my pre-diabetes started. I started losing hair in patches. So if you don't have anyone has been losing hair in patches and know what it's like. Um, Yes. Okay. So you know the pain. And so that was going through, my skin was absolutely terrible. We can see here it was just a total shit show. Let's just call it that way. That made me really depressed. And I know it's superficial. I know it's you might be feeling like, okay, this was just, your skin or your hair. I was genuinely unhappy and depressed. And I think you can see it in my eyes overall. And I was just like, I know that there's better, more to life. And it is stressful. And my body was definitely communicating to me. So this was my reality. Super massive bloating, acne, my hair is falling out in patches, and overall like just not very happy. And then somehow within 2 years I went from that to getting fit as fuck, literally, hence the name of my course, because I was like, wait, how come I not only lost weight, I improved my skin, I improved my hair? Like, life isn't quite fair, is it? Why is it that like once you figure out one thing, all the others fall into place? And that's because it's all connected, right? So that's, you can see I even lost dark circles. Anyone has dark circles, let me know. That also is not a very sexy condition, and so I definitely relate to that. So here's how my story applies to your situation, that whatever story you tell yourself about why you're here and what I'm teaching or what biohacking is about is not going to apply to you. You might be thinking, oh, Aggie, but I have genetics. Oh, Aggie, but I don't have access to, I don't know, I don't live in America. Oh, Aggie, because these are all excuses. And sure, you want to believe them, go for it. But it's a waste of time to listen to this, because if you so strongly believe that this is, you're committed to your struggles, and go for it. But I truly believe, having worked with 20,000 women at this point, that everyone benefits from biohacking. Why? What's that thing about biohacking? Why do we realize that? I'll tell you in a second, but I want to just share this stat with you, that about 43% of women have dieted in the last year, and 85% of women have ever been on a diet. That is very, very high stats. That really screws up our metabolism, right? So we as women, because we're constantly under eating, trying different diets, that really scrubs our hormones, our skin, our hair. And that is a big one. All right. So, what is biohacking? I'm going to explain it real quick. This is a framework I created. And this is why biohacking is better than any diet. And let me explain what that means. B for from biohacking stands in biology. We understand that changing biology changes our state and changes our mind. What does it mean? It means that if you have this big business idea that you're thinking like, oh my God, why am I not starting my own business? Why am I struggling with my kids? Why am I feeling like everything is a struggle? It's because your biology isn't optimal. Let's just put it that way. And so when your biology isn't optimal, I don't care how much Tony Robbins you're going to listen to yourself, you will struggle. That is just a fact. So if you want to feel better, if you want to have an incredible life, incredible relationship, patience, you really need to start biohacking to make sure that it's connected, because without biology, there's no amount of Tony Robbins that can get you out of there. I is individuality, or the I factor. So you and I shared 99% of our DNA. So you might be thinking, oh my God, we should be eating the same thing. But no, we share 10% of our gut. And biohacking understands that what's going to work for me, not going to work for you, not going to work for Vanessa in the chat, and Danai in the chat, and Wendy and Floor and Ilana. So what do? We learn so we can navigate. So you don't listen to Aggie or Dave Asprey or whoever, you listen to yourself, right? So it's no longer outsourcing your power to other people. It's claiming your power back where it actually belongs, and understanding that this is the I factor, right? So we're giving you a rod, not a fish, ultimately, with biohacking, right? So that's why we're teaching all of these courses instead of giving you a diet plan, because we want you to understand what you're doing. Always optimization. So you are committed to making the most efficient hacks, right? It's not about suffering. It's not about doing it the hard way. I heard this crazy fitness trainer, he got shut down, but he was doing it for 4 hour week, how like this 4 hour week. He was doing 4 hour workouts every day because they were like better, whatever the story was. Long story short, we're here to optimize because the goal isn't to biohack, is the goal is to live your life, right? So we want to make sure that we have the energy to live our life. It's not the end goal. Then we have health. This is number one value of biohacking. True wealth is our health. We don't do things for looks. Looks and anti-aging is a side effect, and you might be thinking that you came here because to find out about skin or about hair, but the truth is that that's a side effect of feeling absolutely amazing and being healthy. Because when your skin is struggling, do you think your biology is completely perfect if you have skin, like realistically? Exactly. So that I personally think that, your body is screaming to you, communicating and just saying things. Okay, I really need to pay attention and my skin is flaring up. It's an inflammation somewhere in the body. Attention to details. These are small details. You might be thinking, yes, skin reflects the inside. And so attention to details, they make a big difference. I used to listen to something that someone say and felt like, okay, cool, fasting is good. I'm going to do it every day for 20 hours. And turns out it's all about the nuances. And that's really important to just really understand, again, the backstory of why we do what we do, so you can navigate the nuances. C is community and culture. Biohackers are very, very cool, supportive community. Like I said, I just got off a call with my community of women. I had tears in my eyes. We were women from all over the world talking about motherhood and dieting and just really supporting each other. And I think this is what's super important and missing massively, is the community. And that's whether you in my community, any community, biohackers are just super open because we know that community is the biggest biohack. K stands for knowledge. Again, this is what you are here for. You want to understand why certain things matter. And, we are growing up thinking that we might not be smart enough to go to school to understand biology. But at the end of the day, you are a smart cookie and you can absolutely understand everything I'm about to teach you, so you can do it yourself. Also, websites like PubMed are also a great way to look it up. I goes for intuition, to making sure that you trust yourself and listen to your body, what it needs. And never stop learning, because you would think that for me, after 6 years, I should be just hanging out, but I actually love it. And I also love to explore more because it's never ending and it's exciting. And G, get to the roots. Skin is a perfect example. Number one question I get on Instagram, Aggie, what kind of skincare do you have? I'm like, it's not about skincare, it's about from inside out. And yes, some of the things, of course, help, but it's not to the degree that you think it is. It really is from the inside out. So getting to the root. Is this clear? Is everyone following? Can you just say yes in the comments? Because this is a really big one when it comes to biohacking, and that's taking ownership. No more blaming the doctor, the medical system, da da da. I'm telling you right now, the medical system is not there to save you and to keep you healthy. Your doctors have not been trained to keep you healthy. They're there to manage disease. They're amazing. We love doctors. It's just not a person to manage your health. That's two different things. And so you need to realize that this is day one of the rest of your life, where you take radical ownership of your life, take accountability. And the only person that you can point fingers at is yourself, not other people, because you point fingers and the other three are pointing right at you. So you're now taking ownership. So your health is your responsibility, nobody else's. So how you feel, how you look is a reflection of how you take care of yourself. And I also want to talk about the energy. You can be looking in the mirror and feeling like, I want to learn biohacking because I hate my skin, or I'm fat, I'm ugly, whatever. The energy behind everything you do changes the outcome. If you come into this experience and you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm trying to lose weight because I hate my fat, well, guess what? That's not the way to do it. You're here because your body is performing trillion different micro tasks all the time, and you're here to do big things, and we're here to support you. And we're not here to like punish our body for something. We're here to celebrate our body and support it biologically because it's doing so much for you, and the plan is to keep doing for you so you can be there for your kids and grandkids and have energy for doing shit you love. And when you decide to travel at 65, you're not going to say, sorry, I didn't travel because I was working, and then I can't work because I can't move. Guys, we have 475 people. We're about to run out of space, so make sure you stay on because you might not be able to get back on. These are the levels of biohacking. This is something new. Has anyone done any of my previous webinars before? Let me know. But you have not seen this one because this is something that I've been working on for the last 6 months. And yeah, this is how I teach it now. And I decided this is my promise to you again. I didn't say that promise. Damn it, I forgot at the beginning. Everything I'm about to teach you is going to be free, absolutely free, no spending money. And we know that there are so many fancy biohackers that spend $2 million a year to biohack, and sure you can, but we're here to absolutely change that and start with level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Yay, first webinar. Oh, awesome. So my promise to you is that we're going to keep it all free. And why am I proving it to you? Why am I proving to you that you don't need to spend money? I could be telling you like, you need a supplement, I own a supplement company, have all of them, this will be perfect. Yes. And maybe taking a supplement is like, I was just saying to a friend, it's like driving a Bugatti versus walking somewhere. It gets you places, but doesn't mean you can't get there. Absolutely. And if the most important thing is understanding what you're doing, because you can navigate that without breaking the bank. So this is level 1. This is 3. You can screenshot if you want. These are level 1 would be when we eat things. So we're not going to change our diet. So if you're going to start biohacking tomorrow on level 1, you're not going to change your diet. You're going to eat food in the right order. So you're going to start with fiber, then protein, then fat, and then finish with carbs and sugar. And why that is because the fiber from broccoli or from whatever vegetable you're eating acts like a little sponge collecting protein and carbs so they don't hit the stomach. So that's going to be your level 1. You're also going to practice microfast. I would love for you to be super honest and transparent with me and share how many meals a day did you have yesterday. Let me know. And latte counts as a meal. So how many meals did you have? 4, 3, 6. I mean, back in the day, the girl that you saw in the hospital bed, she probably had 7 meals a day because she was like, she had a coffee, had a latte, she had 2 coffees a day, and then she had a little snack and ate. Yes. And so what we're going to do with biohacking is we're going to condense everything you eat into 3 meals. I call these microfasts. We're going to give our digestive tract a little bit of a break, and that kind of like to help us reduce inflammation. Anyone knows what inflammation is and why we avoid inflammation? Because it makes us puffy and makes us feel like absolute shit in our body. So even bites as fruit, yes, even fruit is considered a meal. So combining your lattes together with your meal, and it's gonna be hard, but if you're at 6 meals a day, reduce 1 meal and then another meal and another meal, and then you're gonna fast, and that's the 3rd thing. So you're gonna fast according to your cycle. Yes, supplements like colostrum count as a meal. Yes. Yes, that gets a little tricky when you realize that stuff like that, like collagen, colostrum, protein smoothies, regular coffee, no milk is not a meal. So anything that doesn't have calories is not a meal. All right, let me just continue. That's level 2. Okay, so that's level 1. So these will be I'm not going to go into much detail because I want to make sure that we go through the entire presentation, but screenshot it. And I feel like this is a very good basis to start with. Next, level 2, we're going to decide on what to eat. And you got to focus on having enough protein and understanding how much is protein and whether you are eating enough. What's quality above all? How to nourish your gut, how to slow cook, and how to prepare food to not actually destroy the nutrients. Why it's important to chew calories and eat when relaxed. I just want to expand on a couple of points. Most women or most people in the US, can you see this little graph on the left? Is it good enough or do you want me to zoom in? What happens for us? We have a sweet breakfast in the morning. Then we have like a little salad, Caesar salad, let's just say that, with like two tiny little strips of chicken for lunch. And then dinner comes and we're making this protein, protein, protein. And without getting too much detail, that prevents protein synthesis. And we want to have our protein distribution to be like that. So at least 30 grams at each meal and at least 100 grams of protein. So what's 30 grams of protein? Anyone has any ideas? How many pieces of chicken? About 4 ounces. I don't know how many grams that is, but if someone is good at translating ounces to grams, that would be super helpful, right? So 30 grams, oh wait, 30 grams. There you go. I know of protein. It's not exactly 30 grams of chicken. That would be a little bit more. So that's really important for you to have protein. Why do we have protein? Why is it so important? Why is this protein synthesis thing that Aggie's talking about so important? It keeps you full. It helps. The more muscle you have, the better your glucose is. The better your glucose is, the easier it is for you to lose fat. So the lower your insulin and your glucose, the easier it is for you to lose fat. It's almost like if insulin is high, your ability to lose weight is blocked, absolutely blocked. So we want to make sure we have enough muscle. And I feel like I'm getting already too sciencey because it's hard when I don't have 400 slides. I was trying to keep it simple. But again, please screenshot it and keep it to yourself because you want to make sure that you nourish your gut. If I was to say one thing to save my skin and what has helped me grow my hair back, help my skin, is definitely nourishing my gut and cleaning my gut and realizing I had leaky gut. Also chewing my calories. And so anyone is not happy with their facial features. Because what happens is we live in a world where we drink smoothies, have very processed food like soft bread and rice and pasta. We never properly chew. Like it doesn't get developed. Our facial features don't really get developed. So that's why we don't want to. We want to our calories, but also when we drink our calories, we give like a massive spike. Guys, we actually hit 500 people, so we're at the limit. Can you imagine that someone's there is just not being able to be here? Chantal says my coach has me on 175 grams of protein a day. So that's based on your weight. So when we dive deeper into biohacking, we actually will calculate the exact number of protein for you. But just as a rule of thumb, 100 grams would be minimum for a woman. Okay. So that would be really important. We want to make sure that protein centered diet also includes 30 grams of protein for breakfast, and make sure that you really don't have sweet breakfasts because it spikes your glucose, like I said, in the level 1. So right here, right? So we want to eat food in the right order because we don't want the glucose to spike. Eating when relaxed, that's a really tough one, even for me. And I'm not going to go into much detail because I want to talk to you about what not to eat right now. We haven't even started about spending more money, right? Yes, we understand the quality is better. We want to slowly start avoiding processed food, but we use it. And this is a key word that everyone takes their notepads and write down a very important word. I prefer. So what does it mean to you? Everything I'm teaching you right now is not a rule. And so what I realized that Rules sucks. I hate rules. I like breaking rules. I also feel like rules stress me out. And so a lot of biohacking was about rules and rules and rules, and it was making me super overwhelmed. So I decided that I'm going to teach preferences. And why is it important? Yes, I prefer grass-fed steak. I prefer a A5 Wagyu, but is it doable for me living in where I live and, making the money? Is it possible for me? Perhaps not. So I'm going to prefer better quality meat, but I'm not going to go batshit crazy that I can't get it, I can't afford it, it's not available, or I just feel like having something else. And so I want you to write it down, that have preferences for certain things, but these are not rules, because the point about eating when relaxed is what happens is, we as women attend these classes, hear experts say this, and then next time we go to a restaurant or to a supermarket, I'm like, oh my God, but this is killing me, and this is killing me, and this I can't have. So I'm gonna just have water. But then tap water is bad too. Sorry. So we get so obsessed. Anyone can relate, or is it just me? That you get so paranoid about every single item, and it just creates this, like, it's fucked. So we just prefer certain things. And guess what? I am still alive. So it turns out you can ingest a lot of toxins, including your toxic eggs, and still be alive. So you'll be fine. We just prefer. And what happens? We prefer more often, more often, more often. And when you're not being told what to do, all of a sudden you would prefer healthier foods. But if I'm being told to have something healthy, yeah, it's just, I immediately go for the cake, legit. So what we prefer to avoid toxins. There are these mean guys, obesogens. They're toxins called because they make you obese. Like, how crazy is that? And so they are in our perfume, in our makeup, in our skincare, in our washing powder, in our seed oils. And so, including your toxic excess, right? Sorry, I have to stop reading the comments. So we want to avoid these obesogens and seed oils because, again, as you get healthier, you realize that reducing these things will be very helpful. Glyphosate in gluten. Yes, I still eat bread. I think bread is the best invention on the planet. I wish it wasn't a super gluten. So it has been genetically modified to create the very strong protein of gluten. So the bread we eat right now, that's why it doesn't digest very well in our stomachs. It's full of the glyphosate that has a terrible impact on our gut. We can have mold toxicity. We can have heavy metals. Is there a single person that has been eating fish because she feels like it's more feminine? Because that was me for at least a year, where I would have a fish on the menu because it's lighter, right? Like steak or like lamb, heavy. Oh, red meat. No, no, no. I'm gonna have fish. Well, fish is full of heavy metals. It's one of the most polluted protein there is. And so I was struggling, and then I went to get my hair analysis, and they're like, oh my God, Aggie, like, no wonder you're big. You're full of heavy metals. Your body's just like has heavy metals toxicity. And so that was aluminum and that was mercury. And so you really need to be careful with your fish and the quality of your fish. You're going to avoid anti-nutrients. We're not going to have time to dive into that because we only have an hour. But anti-nutrients are these compounds in fruit and vegetables. So, for example, we have lemon. So when we think of lemon as calories, probably, or maybe vitamins or nutrients. And so turns out that every fruits don't like to be eaten, believe it or not. So they have calories, nutrients, and anti-nutrients. And some of them have anti-nutrients that damage the gut. And so that would be lectins, like in tomatoes. If some of the people can be okay, but you might be having an incredible reaction without realizing to raw tomatoes because of their lectins, or to spinach and oxalates. So you might be having your spinach smoothie or spinach, tomato, green pepper salad and wonder, why am I not losing weight? And the truth is, you can have a sensitivity to anti-nutrients. Lara, who's on my research team, she's a doctor who helps me create all of this. and make sure that it's backed by science. She has not only lost weight, but also gained her health just reducing anti-nutrients. So this is a big one. And you have to understand, uh, I love Isabella. Oh my God, there is so much knowledge. I'm not sure I'm going to remember. I know it is a lot. I probably am teaching you too much. Avoid toxic people. I'm not going to have chance to go to clean body framework, but yes, this is level 3. And so this is what I really want to quickly show you. Can we see male hormones over here? Right? These are male hormones. They're the same every single day. What are female hormones? Slightly different, don't you think? Can anyone see any difference, or is it just me? Yeah. And so there's a lot going on, let's just put it that way. And if you are following a diet created by a man, promoted by a man in the fitness industry by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I've worked, at the gym, you're not gonna be happy. It's because your hormones are different. So you want to, again, not gonna go into detail of what we can do, but just pre-screenshot it and remember phase 1. Phase 1 is your menstruation. This is where it's your inner winter, yin energy, inward focus, reflection, intuition. This is the time where you want to go into a more of a keto diet. You want to be able to do lighter exercises like yoga, Pilates, etc., long walks. Then we have a phase 2. We have our inner spring, and that's yang energy. Are you familiar with yin and yang, the feminine, the masculine? It's from Tantra, from a traditional Chinese medicine. So it's the outward focus. This is the go-getter, curiosity, taking action. And so this is where we want to introduce discipline, structure. This is the time for us to lift weights, go fasting. And now you're going to go fasting during this time, and you're going to not eat for 17 hours, and you're going to lose a lot of weight during this time. You will actually see incredible results for fasting. But now we're going to move to phase 3, which is ovulation. Everything is peaking. We're horny. Our hair is shiny. People compliment us on. There's so many studies that show that women that are ovulating are considered more attractive, more irresistible, are more likely to get a raise. If you knew that, if you knew exactly when your ovulation is, don't you think you would adjust your life to use it to your unfair advantage? So yeah, definitely. But phase 3 is also important that we aren't fasting. There's already so much going on. We do not want to be fasting, but we are the strongest. So we want to lift weights. And then the luteal phase, to very simplify, very, very simplifying, luteal phase is going to be a little stronger at the beginning. So you still can work out, you still can fast, but 7 days before, you want to make sure that you're going to take it easy. And guess what? If you're going to fast and look towards the very end in the luteal phase, just right here, if you're going to fast right here, you're going to put on weight. And if you're going to do heavy weights, you're going to put on weight. And that's because of cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. So too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And we want to push ourselves, right? But if we're pushing ourselves too much as women, our cortisol goes up. And that's another reason why that belly fat, if you're looking at bloated, if your belly is bloated, if you feel like you have like skinny arms, but the belly is just like this thing that's sitting there, maybe a chubby face, that's cortisol for you. So level 4, is everything clear on level 3? I know this was very quick, but I want to be. Yes, it is being recorded. Perfect. Awesome. Yes, for menopausal would be slightly different. And I think we should do a separate webinar for menopausal women. Training level 4. So we want to make sure that 3 things, and this is what I was trying to tell you earlier. The more muscle you have, the more insulin receptors you have, the fewer glucose spikes. Everyone knows what a glucose spike is? Is that clear? Yes. Okay, perfect. So the more muscles you have, the fewer glucose spikes you have, the better you feel, the more energy you have to do things you love. And then the more energy you have, you do the things, and the more muscle you have. And so we want to make sure that you train properly, like as if your life depended on it. We're going to work out according to your cycle. That's really, really important. and trying reheat and sit training, just to make sure. We also, on level 4, this is a really big one. We want to make sure that we nail our sleep. I wonder if I have a sleep. No, I don't have a sleep slide, but who can tell that, speaking of sleep, one of the biggest hacks, can you tell me 2 big hacks about sleep and hormones? And they're going to get a great 30% off my supplements if they guess. Sleep before 10. That depends on your chronotype. So ultimately, we want to make sure that we avoid blue light, right? And blue light isn't, I personally, to sync my cycle to the moon, I always have these glasses even during the day because I'm on my phone, I'm on my laptop. And so these glasses, we have them at Biohacking Bestie, but go to Amazon, get good, better quality blue light blocking glasses. And the reason is the light is extremely confusing for our body. So that's number one, right? Light is very confusing. So we want to make sure that we never have lights above our eye level past sunset. So if it's sunset, I don't care if you're in Europe right now and it's 4 p.m. and it's dark, bedside lamps. And if that's not possible, I literally wear a hat to make sure that I don't get the light from above, because if you get the light from above, it absolutely wakes up your body. It's telling your body it's in the middle of the day, and so your body gets confused, and that's really, really important for sleep. And the second one for sleep, anyone knows? That's the big one for sleep. Being regular. Again, everything I'm teaching you is free. I don't know if anyone noticed, but it's literally, I could tell you take a supplement. I could tell you do cryo, do a cold plunge, do sauna. No. Yes, avoid eating before bed. Absolutely. Consistency, dark room, and absolutely being consistent. So right now in Bali, I've been going to bed at 9, which is crazy. And now it's midnight. I'm 3 hours past my bedtime. So that's why I'm like struggling to even talk to you. And my body is not very happy to be up right now. And so what would be my old me reaction would be, okay, I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. I've been up for 3 hours longer. I'm going to go to bed early. No, I'm going to wake up at 5:30 like I usually do, because it's too confusing for the body. So just trying to not be crazy with our times and not sleeping in on the weekend would be really, really important. And to not stress. What's the most annoying sentence on the planet? It is, hey, just chill or just relax. That's very, very true. When I hear that, I just want to punch someone in the face. Anyone can relate when they tell you just relax and you're like, no thanks. So in my book, I kind of took me the longest to talk about stress, because stress isn't, that Dave from accounting told you that you look terrible. Stress is, short-term stress is good for you. I'm talking the chronic stress that comes from people pleasing. And did you know that 80% of women, actually 80% of autoimmune disease are women, which is crazy to think. What does it mean? That we are getting so much more sick. And so this is really important. I believe we're getting sick because we are taught to be nice girls, to be polite, to doing the right thing. And part of you claiming that ownership back, it's going to say, fuck it. Fuck it. Like the amount of, our courses aren't cheap. The number one thing that women say, I am crying. I have spent so much money for myself. I have never spent so much money on myself. And that guilt, that idea that we have to be selfless and hyper aware about everybody, hyper vigilant about everyone's well-being instead of focusing our own well-being. So yes, and 80% of autoimmune disease is women. And it's a crazy stat. I couldn't believe it either. I have goosebumps when I say that. It's absolutely fact. So it's our responsibility to take our stress seriously, to take ourselves seriously, to understand that this is just like, oh, it's a nice thing to have. And I'm like, no. This is, you do not want to be constantly struggling. And that is unfortunately the case for a lot of women that put themselves last. And this is time to turn the page. So my favorite quote, prevention is better than cure. Anyone can relate, anyone can resonate with that. I really want you to make sure that this is your new motto, right? Prevention is better than cure. And knowing that women struggle so much more with bloating, taking your bloating seriously, taking the smaller bits seriously would be really, really important. And one more thing that I wanted to share with you that is also really unfair. When you lose weight, we found some incredible studies. Not only your kids look up to you, but your spouse will always also get fitter. Not only that, when you lose weight, you get promoted way more likely, and you're way more likely to make more money. And I don't know if anyone's trying to lose weight can't and feels really activated about what I just said. And these are some serious studies. So the studies say, yes, if you lose weight, you're going to get promoted easier. Your spouse will be fitter. You will make more money. And why is it? Because unfortunately, we live in a society that judges the book by its cover, as hard as it is. And I understand that once you figure out yourself and put yourself first and build that relationship with yourself, it translates into confidence, that translates into getting promoted. And so as much as we can try to say, oh, it's unfair, that fit people get promoted better, or they make more money, or they have fitter spouses, or their kids look up to them, or we can try to figure out a way, okay, maybe it's time to go within and figure out what is it that we can, shouldn't we want to change that? I don't know, it's a really touchy topic. So when I said the energy behind everything changes the outcome, I believe our goal should be to be healthy. But I also believe that it would be really, really hard. I had Dr. Mindy Pelz. I don't know if you know her, but I had Dr. Mindy Pelz on my podcast, and she said something that deeply resonated, that she hasn't found an overweight person that is absolutely 100% healthy. There is a root cause of toxicity, of mold or whatnot that people aren't aware of. They're just not going to the right people and the right doctors. And so I don't think you can be obese and super healthy. I think there is an underlying root, whether it's stress, whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's, again, toxins in your body. And so once we get rid of that, that's not our default. And the truth is, travel around the world. I just went to Hong Kong. I'm in Bali. There's not a single obese person. And there is something in the US, aka toxins, or in Europe, that is making us absolutely overwhelmed and our bodies screaming for help. So even though we have normalized being obese, as you travel around the world, you see that is not as common. And I would say if there was if I had to pick one when it comes to a weight loss, would be toxins, toxins, toxins. Your body is drowning in probably mold, probably heavy metals, maybe anti-nutrients. And that would be really, really important, managing your glucose, because it screws up your hormones. There's two hormones. We think we have a couple of hormones. We actually have 50 different hormones, and two of them are the leptin and ghrelin that regulate how satiated we feel. And so that is how full we feel and how hungry we feel. And these are the two things that I would love for you to explore. I always lose weight when I leave US. It is astonishing. Yes, it's also social interactions, like people consider you more charismatic when you lose weight. Changes in relationships, da da da. So the big how to. These are just, by the way, some of the reviews. Yes, someone said my girlfriend used to work for 7 years night shifts, at the same time got weight gain and skin problems. And 100% it's all related to the hormones that are being dysregulated. Now, I hope this was helpful. I really want to share with you just some success stories, just to see that Biohack not only works for me, but it has worked for over 20,000 women. I mean, for millions of people around the world, but 20,000 women that decided to work with me from all over the world. And these reviews are absolutely amazing. That, I have seen about 30 different doctors about this issue in my journey, and no one has ever relayed this level of information to me about the drastic effects hormones can have on your body as clearly and as in depth as you, Aggie. So it's been, getting messages that people have never been in a better shape of my life. This is just a proof of how successful these incredible stories are of doing only 3 weeks through our courses like Fit as Fuck. And so whether you think, I really hope I convinced you that biohacking is uh, the solution, right? Because it approaches weight loss, approaches being healthy in a very different way. And so if you feel called to join our Black Friday bundle, usually our fittest pack is $4.99, hormone challenge $2.99, and anti-aging it's usually over $1,000 in courses, but you can get it now for $3.99 for shorter time access, or $5.55 for longer. You also get free money course to break free from the scarcity mindset. So it's only available for this webinar. This is not an offer you would see me share on Instagram. And so this is hush hush. But if you join during this call in the next hour, you get the free money course, which is our add-on to this biohacking bundle. If you want to just get Black Friday sale Fit as Fuck, that's $2.99, all with the code Black Friday. So if you want to continue learning with me, would love to have you. It would be my honor. It's blackfriday.fitasfuck.co, and you also get 20% off supplements if you choose to use them. Again, absolutely no pressure. Of course, I use supplements every day. I'm not Dave Asprey who has 80, but I do take supplements. I understand that, I eat food to nourish, and it's not always possible for me to get the nourishment from supplements. So that's it for me. So yes, let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything that I can answer. I know that we will send out this recording if it was a little too quick. I know this is just a tip of an iceberg, and if you feel like you have more questions now than you had at the beginning of the call, I totally understand, because I can absolutely relate. My book is coming out in 2 months. It's going to be second part of January, so still quite a bit. Is keto diet good for women? Depends which part of the cycle. I would listen to male trainers, so just like, okay, cool, like I want to do keto, I did it. It's not good for your progesterone. So at the second part of the cycle, that's where it's not good for you, which means that you can lose your period a little bit. Under the link, there is no free money mini course. We will send it to you. It's a bit of a back end thing, but if you buy during this webinar in the next 30 minutes, this is how we're gonna know. We're gonna send you the money mini course, which is literally how to break free from scarcity mindset, really. Where did you get the most information from? From about 6 years of reading 200 books. Legit. And I also have a medical team that is working just to like put it all together so I can talk about it in an hour. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. Can we incorporate that in a vegan diet? Yes. Again, when I said about preferences, I prefer animal protein. Biohacking is very strict on that. If you can prefer animal protein, but if you choose not to, that's also your option. I don't think it's black and white. You can do so many other things if you choose to stay vegetarian. Start an education for us. I am starting an education. This is an education. These are the courses. So good for, which makes it worse. Is fasting good for people with severe acne? It's all linked to cortisol. And so with cortisol, again, no size fits all. When I said the I factor, we want to make sure that we understand that you're not massively overwhelmed, because cortisol will make you gain weight, and fasting will definitely spike your cortisol. So if you feel like cortisol is I know for me, I've been so stressed this past 2 weeks with my book. I am not fasting, even though I really want to. I'm like, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I eat because I know this is not the right time for me to fast. Is shipping free? The shipping is free with the code Black Friday for supplements, the 20% off. And I'm just thinking whether we should give you maybe 30% off supplements since you're here. Anyone? Yes? Okay. Charlotte, can we get like a super flash sale for 30% off supplements? What code would that be? I don't know if Charlotte is still up. But let me just find out. Let me just text her if I can get you 30% off for, where did it say? All right, try hot 30, guys. Hot 30. Yes, she just messaged me. Hot 30% off. So it's 20% already on the website, and then additional 10%. It's a minimum $100 spend, additional 10% off, right? So that would be minimum $100 spend. But if you spend 150, it's also free shipping. So it's 30% off and free shipping. Yes. What if I'm eating only 2 meals? Oh, and one meal still 100 grams of protein. Will they get absorbed properly? If you're only having 2 meals, then that's perfectly fine. It's all about the minimum 30%, 30 grams of protein. Drop it like it's hot. It's a great question to my team. I think we might have it next week. We've been sold out for 2 months. When will the protein butter be available in Europe? Probably for Christmas. So fasting isn't good at what stage of the cycle? You don't want to fast for your ovulation. So day 11 to 14, and then 21 to 28. So let's make sure that we post supplements is biohackingbestie.com, and the biohacking bundle would be blackfriday.fitnessbag.co. And yes, the hormone challenge is in Polish for the last few days. Anyone here from Poland? Fitnessbag and hormone challenge both are translated into Polish. So let me know if there are any other questions. You have 30 minutes if you want to choose to get the mini money course. I hope and let me know if the money course will come with it. Yes. So if you buy the bundle, the Black Friday bundle, you will receive the $3.99. You will get the free money course as well, which is an insane at 70% off, which is absolutely ridiculous. So hush hush. This is how we keep our prices low. Anyways, thank you. Also, 30% wasn't working. Make sure that's minimum $100 off, and that it's the items are already discounted on the website. Guys, I have actually lost my voice after doing 2 community calls. I love you so much. I'm gonna head to Instagram right now and answer your DMs because I'm sure there will be many. Make sure that you have the next 30 minutes to make the decision about the Black Friday bundle. If you want to get the free money course, I really appreciate it. I hope you got some value. Did you feel like you learned something new? Let me know. And congratulations to you for showing up and for actually just coming to a place that's was just like learning. So hell yeah. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm heading to bed so I can practice what I preach. That's right. Love you so much and see you on Instagram. Bye. Bye. Yes. Perfect.